do a tailwind.
When I first saw the schedule, I was pretty pumped up to be one of the last ones because I thought I get to watch everybody else screw up. Well, damn you guys are killing it tonight. Lincoln's rocking it. So anyway, as long as I can remember, I've always had a fascination with aviation. About 2 years ago, that fascination turned into a passion of mine. One of the things when flying an airplane is you always take off into a headwind. But you notice anything in life, whether starting a business, a new relationship, a new job, whatever you're starting, you're always faced into that headwind. Well, the thing about aviation is, as a pilot, you use that headwind to your advantage. More wind under the wings, more lift, and you're up to altitude and flying better. I know a lot about headwind. I've got a small startup company here in Lincoln, and we make video games. Well, we compete with the giants, the Nickelodeons, the Disneys of the world, and we know we're not going to out Nickelodeon, and we're sure as hell not going to out Disney. So it's my job to make pivots and figure out ways to turn that headwind into a tailwind. And so a number of things that we do on a daily basis is figure out those pivots. And when you're piloting an aircraft, you try to figure out the winds so that you can get to your destination faster. Think about sailing a ship as well. It doesn't matter from point A to point B where you're going if the wind is at your head. You have to navigate the water, navigate the wind to get it to your back. Pilots use instruments. Well, business people don't have instruments, so we fly by the seat of our pants on a daily basis. So a lot of things in business, when we look at our headwinds and look at our troubles, we have to pull ourselves out of the situation and kind of look at it as a 30,000-foot view, if you will. And that's tough because a lot of times you're so heads down, you don't really see the big picture of what you're creating. Well, in an airplane, you can. You can look down upon what you're flying over, and you can see just how small you really are. And when you see how small you are, you realize just how small your problems are. And that's a biggie because, for us, we were building a virtual world for kids. And like I said, we're competing against the giants that have huge budgets. Well, we don't have those budgets, and in order to get those budgets, we'd have to basically dilute ourselves out of a company. So we've had to make a number of pivots. And looking down on our company, what we did was we thought, instead of trying to outmarket those big companies, why don't we look at the platform we've created? So the pivot we made was to take our platform and let other businesses, professional athletes, whatever the case may be, use our platforms to make engaging communities for their fans and their customers. So it's been a huge pivot, but what we've done is we've gone from trying to figure out how to market our company to having others market for us. So we went from having a tremendous amount of headwind to having massive amounts of tailwind. Another story I have about tailwind is the next slide that's going to pop up is, I'm also a rule breaker, so you guys that are killing it with your 20 slides going every 15 seconds, screw you, I did 4 slides. and so you guys have the luxury of when that slide's popping, you're there. Well, anyway, that was my bad. Sorry about that, Justin. Here's a story about some headwind. Most of you are from in and around the city of Lincoln. So you know a massive amount of headwind is just parking downtown Lincoln and in and around campus, right? Well, imagine if you're driving this bastard to school every day. Well, that's how I got myself through college. That was my school vehicle. That big, ugly, yellow dump truck. So, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the old Reunion building. Yeah, right? It's gone. But anyway, I drove this to college because who's going to hire a college student in the construction business, right? He's got to leave 2 or 3 times a day to go to class. So what I did was I used my student loan and my GI Bill and some of my savings, and I bought this dump truck at an auction. Massive amounts of headwind when you're a student driving this thing to and from class. But my tailwind was I had flashers. And so I'd park it on the street with the flashers on, whether it was loaded with rubble or not. and you know what? Screw you, parking services, because I also had advertising on my door. So driving that dump truck to and from class, I got tons of work just by doing that. So no matter what you're faced with in life, no matter what adversities you are, your job is not to take them headwind or take them head on, but figure out how to turn those adversities, those road bumps, into working in your favor and create a tailwind. Thanks a lot, Lincoln.